What is up, everybody? Today we're here to break down the NBA DraftKings slate on Friday, August 14th. This is the end of the regular season. Thank God. This week has just been a hard week. Actually been kind of a profitable week, but it's just still been a lot of harder work than normal for NBA just because of you have to pay attention more than you've ever really had to starting lineups, to everything. But this is it. This is the last day of that crap where we don't really know if our players are going to play after halftime. So that's always fun, but we don't have to deal with that after today, so thank God for that. But before I get into today's breakdown, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like the video, make sure to leave a comment, turn on the notification bell. All those things really help me out. We've been growing through NBA season, growing through NASCAR season, NFL is coming up. We'll see, hopefully get some NCAA football this year and some NCAA basketball. I'm going to be making content for all that all season long, so make sure to stick around for all of that coming up. If you want more of my content, you can subscribe to my Patreon, where for only $10 a month, you're going to get a cheat sheet and projections for DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo Fantasy Sports, Super Draft, and Fantasy Draft for NBA, as well as an article every single day, injury notes, salary tier rankings, cash cores, and pretty much anything else, and pretty much any questions you have. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is at DFS Nate Lane, and my Instagram is at Nate Lane _. Just love talking about sports, DFS, fantasy football, everything over there. So be sure to check all of that out. But I think that's really all I got to say on all that, so let's get into the players. So the first thing we're going to start with today is the Denver Nuggets. I didn't write the players who are out like I did on every other team, but Will Barton's out, Gary Harris is out. It's just the same thing that's kind of been going on for them the whole bubble. Those two players are out. Jamal Murray is back, but Denver's just really been playing their starters like 20 to 25 minutes. So I just don't really know how interested I am in like Nikola Jokic today, or Jamal Murray, or Porter, or Paul Millsap, or Torrey Craig. I'm never really interested in him anyway, but just not like super interested in those guys today. I just think there's better pay-up options. I think there are some guys who have better paths to playing a ton of minutes than the Denver guys, in my opinion. But I do think there's some interesting guys off the bench that are solid plays. I think Jeremy Grant is a solid play. I think he got 28 minutes last game. He's been very productive in the bubble. I mean, he's probably played the best basketball of his career since bubble started. And I mean, we saw him have a really good game the other day against the Clippers. I don't expect him to like close the game or anything, but I think he has potential to get to 30 minutes more than the other guys do. And he's really not that expensive. I mean, 5,500. I mean, that's more expensive than we've seen Grant, but for his production, I don't think it is. And I think he's a fine play. And the other guy I want off the bench is Mason Plumlee. I think he can get, right now I have him projected for 22, but he could get to 25. He's a 1.09 point per minute producer. We've seen when Mason Plumlee over the course of his career gets the playing time, he is very productive, and if he gets a lot more than normal today, he could end up being a very, very good play today, in my opinion. Plumlee is 4,700 on DraftKings, which is, I think, an okay price based on how everyone else is priced today. Next, we're going to go to Houston Rockets, where we have, Thabo Sefolosha is irrelevant, and then Russell Westbrook's out. So, we know Russell Westbrook's out. James Harden's usage bumps just skyrocket. And I think that continues again today. And for Mike D'Antoni, like, he's a guy that when he rests his guys, he rests his guys. And he plays his guys, he plays his guys. I don't think Harden's going to play this game. And not, like, if it's a close game, I don't think he's going to, like, just sit him out. I think Harden plays 30 to 35 minutes again. And at that point, I want all of James Harden. Like, if I'm MMEing today, I'm probably going 100% James Harden, in all honesty, but just because like he has just the best path to scoring a ton of points. Like, there's not a lot of pay-up spots that I feel comfortable with, and I feel the most comfortable with Harden. Still don't feel 100% because I still wouldn't be surprised if D'Antoni just said, okay, Harden, you're done at halftime, just because he shouldn't. That's what he should do. But yeah, I think James Harden's a really, really good option. There's really just, with Harden playing, there's just really no one else I even want interest on Houston. Maybe Jeff Green, but his price has gone up a little bit. He's $4,900 now. I don't know if I want to pay $4,900 for Jeff Green. Robert Covington's too expensive, $7,100. Eric Gordon only played 20 minutes last game. Daniel House is very non-productive out there. Same with Ben McLemore. And McLemore's been shooting horrible anyway throughout the bubble. Austin Rivers is $5,300. Like, I'm not paying that much, and I never play PJ Tucker. So there's just no one else I really am interested in on Houston. So I think Harden is a great pay-up option. I think there's two other pay-up options that are interesting, but he really might be the only pay-up option today. If you played 100% James Harden, I wouldn't bat an eye. And I honestly, I could see myself doing that today. So, up next we have the Indiana Pacers, where they're without Victor Oladipo, Sabonis, Miles Turner, and T.J. Warren. So last game against Houston, Indiana was without Sabonis, Warren, and Brogdon. Oladipo and Turner played, but now Turner's out. But Oladipo played 29 minutes. So I gave Malcolm Brogdon 30 today. I mean, he's 7,400. It's not great, but you just don't have a lot of guys that are guaranteed minutes, and I think Malcolm Brogdon has a better chance to getting minutes than most players. I mean, they are playing Miami who has nobody, so they might just blow him out, but I'm not trying to predict that right now. Miles Turner's also out, so I think Goga Bitadze is a great play at 3,300. He should draw to start at center. Could be Jakar Sampson, but I think it'll be Goga. Or I mean, maybe we'll just get a shocker and TJ Lee starts, but I think it should be Goga starting for them. He's a .9 point per minute producer, and he's only 3,300. I mean, that's the value you need. I mean, today's really not a slate where you need a ton of value, in all honesty, but I think he could end up having a monster day because Miami doesn't have Bam today, so who's starting at center? Like Chris Silva, Myers Leonard? Like, Goga Bitadze might end up being like a great option here. Yeah, but Malcolm Brogdon, I'm interested. If you want to go back to Aaron Holiday, 5,100 for Aaron Holiday is a lot, and then 4,600 for Justin Holiday is a lot too, for both low point per minute producers, especially if Brogdon out their holidays, both their usages are going down a lot. So, yeah, especially Aaron Holiday won't have the ball in his hands as much, so I'm not as interested in them today. I think TJ McConnell at 4,200 is at least somewhat interesting. He's a .99 point per minute producer. If he can get out there for 22 minutes again, he could end up being a solid option. And then Doug McDermott at 3,900 is just not somewhere I want to go. If Jakar Sampson gets 24 minutes, I think he could be a solid option at 3,800 again. I might want to go get some Jakar Sampson, but that's really about it. Indiana. Next up, we have the LA Clippers, where they're without Pat Bev, Montrezl Harrell, and Landry Shamet. And the Clippers, the past 2 games, have actually been playing their stars like full runs. And honestly, I was thinking about this morning. It kind of makes sense because the Clippers have been hurt like all year. They haven't had a lot of games where they're all playing together, and they still really aren't all playing together. But it looks like going into the postseason, at least for the first series or first playoff series, this is going to be what they're going to have. I mean, maybe Pat Bev too, but I don't expect that. I mean, like, I think these are the guys who are going to have. Shamit's out for a good bit. He's in a walking boot right now. Who knows when Montrezl Harrell's coming back? And I don't know about Pat Bev yet. So these are the guys that they have, and I mean, they're going to have a tough matchup against Dallas. Like, it's not just a walk in the park 2 versus 7 matchup like Brooklyn and Toronto in the East. So they're trying to get together and get chemistry going and make sure they're playing well together. So it kind of does make sense that these guys are playing. So I do think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are actually interesting pay-up options that are 100% going to be lower owned than James Harden today. Like, Harden's going to be so expensive, so owned today. And I think there's ways you can get, like, at least 2 of these guys in there, Harden and either Paul George and Kawhi. Like, there's value everywhere today. So, and there's value that people aren't going to play. That's out there. I mean, it's value everywhere. So I think those guys do offer some upside here. I think they could play their whole at least 30 minutes again. I wouldn't be surprised. I also wouldn't be surprised for them to play 20. So, because who knows what Doc Rivers doing, and it's just, I don't know, something about Kawhi Leonard you just don't know with him. So, I mean, they could also screw you over, but I do think they're going to be lower owned players, and I think they're interesting guys to have in your rosters today. I think Reggie Jackson at 5,400 is still a good play. He's going to get 29 and 30 minutes. Same with Lou Will at 5,800. I think are interesting options. Vika Zubac, I know he just doesn't play enough minutes for me to really want to get there. I know he's a good producer, but man, Marcus Morris, 5,600 is interesting. He's okay. He'll be out there. And then JaMychal Green, I think, is a guy that if they end up benching all their players could be good because he will end up getting the 30 minutes. But if you're playing if you're playing JaMychal Green, I'm not putting him in a line with like Paul George and Kawhi. I'm putting JaMychal Green in a line without anybody else, and maybe Reggie Jackson stays, but like that's it. Next we have the Miami Heat, where we have Bam Adebayo is out, Jimmy Butler is out, and Goran Dragic is out. Jay Crowder's questionable, Andre Iguodala is questionable, Derrick Jones is questionable. I don't think Crowder's playing today. He actually had an injury last game, so I don't see any reason. I mean, they say he's fine. He's going to be fine, but why go out there and try to re-aggravate it in a meaningless game? So I don't think Jay Crowder will be out there. Andre Iguodala, it's just he's an old veteran. What's the point of him playing? I think Derrick Jones could play. I mean, there's nothing. He was just there's no injury for him at all, so I could see him playing. If they just want to rest players, that's fine. But the Heat, like the thing with the Heat is they don't have a lot of depth on this team. So if you go down the guys I've given minutes out today, I'm just like, what am I doing? Tyler Hero, though, I think it's a good option. 5,700. He's been playing the upper 30 minutes every single game, and he's been very productive. I think Tyler Hero is a great option at only 5,700 today. But then I gave Solomon Hill over 30 minutes, and he's such a low producer. I don't really want to go there as much. But Myers Leonard at 3,300 is going to probably see a ton of minutes today. I think he's fine. Kendrick Nunn is back today, but I don't think he's seeing more than 25 minutes. I would be shocked. KZ Okpala is not going to play. Kelly Olynyk, if he gets in the upper 20 minutes, could be a good option. Duncan Robinson, I don't think will play a lot. But then Chris Silva's the one I think I'm most interested in. He's a 1.04 point per minute producer, and at only 3,500. If he can see in the upper 20s in minutes today, that's going to be huge. Like, what if, the second half, Philly's like, screw it, I don't want to play Kelly Olynyk because he's going to get playoff minutes. I don't want to play Derrick Jones if he's in because he's going to play playoff minutes. Like, who are their big men at that point? It's Chris Silva and Kyle Anderson. Like, those are the guys out there. Myers Leonard, too. But there are only a few players that are really on his roster because Gabe Vincent's also out for them. Udonis Haslem just doesn't ever play anymore. He's just kind of there. So, like, I think Chris Silva ends up being... I don't expect him to be high owned. He's not starting. He's probably not going to get a ton of minutes early on in the game, but he could be a guy that later on in the game just takes off. And, I mean... It's going to be, him versus TJ Leaf, Bam, and Jakar Sampson. Or not Bam, gosh. TJ Leaf, Goga, and Jakar Sampson over there. I mean, it's just going to be a disaster to center matchup, but Chris Silva can end up being a good play. I'm definitely going to have some shares of Chris Silva today. For OKC, we have Lou Dort's out, Chris Paul's out, and Schroeder's still out. I didn't write that one in, but yeah, all those three are out. I think we get... I don't know, man. OKC I'm not too excited about. I think there's two players I'm interested in on OKC, and it's Darius Bazley and Hamidou Diallo. They're just playing their starters like 20 to 24 minutes, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Steven Adams, Gallinari. They're not getting a lot of minutes, so I don't really expect a lot from them all. But I think Ferguson sees a good bit. I think Diallo sees a good bit. I think Bazley sees a good bit. We don't ever play Terrence Ferguson. He's basically PJ Tucker. Hamidou Diallo, I think at 4,300, if he can get 24 to 27 minutes, could give us some value. And then Darius Bazley has just been balling recently, and I don't see any reason why he just slows down out of nowhere. He is priced up to 5,400 now, but I mean, he deserves to be up that much. He's been playing really, really good. So I'll get some Darius Bazley today, but it's really all I'm interested in on OKC. Like, I just don't want to play any of these guys. Then we go to Philadelphia, where we have Joel Embiid questionable and Simmons is out for the season. If they play Embiid today, I just gonna question. I questioned everything when he played last game. Like, I don't understand what the point of playing a guy who's already injury prone and who is coming off an injury to play him. It makes no sense. So I don't think they play Embiid today. But Horford and Harris aren't on the injury report. Shake Milton isn't on the injury report. Josh Richardson isn't on the injury report. So they'll probably start. And then along probably either Furkan Korkmaz, Alec Burks, or Matisse Thybulle. One of them will also start. But Horford didn't play after halftime. Harris only played 25 minutes. Josh Richardson 24 and Milton 22 or 21 or something like that. So I don't really want to get to all those guys. They're too expensive. They're not going to play a lot of minutes. They don't care. I just don't think there are any good options there. Alec Burks at 55,000 though, I think is someone who's somewhat interesting. He gets a high usage rate when he's on the floor if nobody else. He'll probably see at least 25 minutes. Maybe he can push for 30 this game. I think Furkan Korkmaz is another one. He had a really good game the other day, and he's still only 3,900 for someone who's going to play at least 25, maybe get into the 30s again. He's just a shooter, and if he gets hot, he gets hot, but he's been shooting well. And it's not like he's playing against good defense. I mean, they're playing Houston, who's already bad defensively, and it's just... I think Furkan Korkmaz ends up being a very good play today. Someone I might have a good bit of. And then Matisse Thybulle, I don't really ever get to. He's 4,000, which Furkan should be more. Matisse Thybulle is just such a low producer in DFS, so I don't really want to go there. But that's really it for Philly. Then the last thing we're going to talk about is Toronto, where we have Serge Ibaka's questionable. I didn't write that in. And then OG Anunoby's questionable. I don't think Ibaka plays because he actually does have somewhat of an injury right now, so I don't see the reason of him playing and trying to re-aggravate it. I think OG plays. He just sort of got the day off the other day, so he'll probably get some minutes. I only put the stars in for Toronto for like 25 each. But Chris Boucher off the bench has just been on fire. He's up to 5,300 right now, which I don't like. But he is still a 1.14 point per minute producer. And at 5,300, if he gets 25 to 30 minutes, it's going to be a smash. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson at 4,000 provides some value. He could probably play into 20 to 25 minutes. And he's a 0.92 point per minute producer. And then Norman Powell, whenever he's out there, we know he's productive. 5,600 could produce some as well. But that's really it for Toronto. Today's a terrible slate. It's the worst one of all these crappy ones we've had recently, but we have to go through it. If you want more of my content, make sure to subscribe to my Patreon. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, turn on notification bell, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. Put all the links in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys make some money today.